Hello everybody, my name is Jessica Cabrera and I'm coming to you from Sidekick's Powerful Kids after school and summer camp in Fishhawk, and I wanted to catch you up on another Team Training Friday in case you missed the last video that we did. I wanted to let you know that every single Friday the entire team at Sidekicks gets together here to go over all kinds of things that are going to make us the best team for after school summer camp and martial arts in the area. We talk about growth and personal development topics. We talk about classroom management skills topics. We talk about, what's going to help your kids to be the best versions of themselves and what's going to help us be the best versions of ourselves. So today I wanted to share with you what I talked to my team about, which is a concept that I hold near and dear to my heart. It's called redirection. So years ago, we had an experience with a teacher in a local area school who liked to remind us that she had been redirecting kids for a long time. And I asked her what she meant by that, and she said, I walk by and I bang on the desk and say, hey, stay on task, buddy. And the more teachers I talk to, and the more coaches I talk to, and the more adults that I talk to, I think that that's a pretty common understanding of what the word redirection actually means when we're talking about keeping kids on task or helping kids to perform at their best. And at Sidekicks, we take a different approach to what the word redirection means when we're talking about helping our kids be successful in our classrooms. So when we talk about redirection, the concept that I explained to my team is that when we redirect kids, we take the thing that they want to do and make it into the thing that we want to see happen. So, for example, you've got a kid who is laying on the floor and rolling around while we're trying to give instructions. What is that kid actually looking for? Are they looking for attention? Are they looking for social confirmation and affirmation from their peers? What is it they're looking for? We find out what that thing actually is, because it's probably not rolling around on the floor. It's probably something else. We find out what that thing that they're looking for is and find a way to make it into the goal that we want to actually accomplish for the class that day. So we have two ways that we talk about having that happen. The first is that we like to try to catch them when they're doing what's great, okay? So if you've got a kid that loves to get attention, right? They want your attention so desperately. We want to try to give them all the attention that we can for doing the right thing, right? Because we all know that a kid that just wants attention is willing to get it any way that's possible. And a lot of times the fastest and easiest way to get an adult's attention is by acting out, misbehaving, doing the thing that's going to get them in trouble, because that's a surefire way to get attention from the adults around them very, very quickly. So what we want to do instead is we want to catch them for those, even if it's just 10 seconds, we want to catch them inside of those 10 seconds where they are doing the right thing. I joked with my team today, if you've got a kid that won't stop talking when they're not supposed to be talking, even if you catch them in the breath between the end of one story and the beginning of next and they just haven't launched into the next story yet, that's the second that you catch them. Hey, thank you for not talking and waiting and listening to my directions. You are being a superstar. The thing to remember with catching them, though, is that may, with the younger kids, may work into changing that behavior right away. It may, if your kids are more like my oldest kid, not change the behavior right away, but what's going to do is actually so much more important. A lot of times when you have kids that are seeking attention by displaying negative behaviors, those kids are kids who have been told for years sometimes that they are the bad kid, and they have built that into their identity. I am the bad kid. I am the kid that acts out. I am the kid that talks. I am the kid that gets attention by doing the bad thing, right? So what we're doing when we're reaffirming them, when we're reigniting their interest in doing maybe the thing that we would like them to do, is we are affirming the fact that we are an adult who they can trust to be a leader who's going to help and build them up. I don't know about you guys, but my son spent the first few years of his educational career being told that he was the bad kid. He was told that by teachers. He was told that by leaders all the time. And what it did was it built up this sense of distrust among the adults outside of our house. Because the adults outside of our house told him that he was bad, told him that he didn't know how to behave, and told him that he was just lazy, right? So he would trust an adult, a new adult, minimally, right up until the point that they reinforced that, oh, you're bad thing. And then all of a sudden it was, oh, that relationship's over. There's no reason for me to listen to that adult anymore because that adult is just like all the other adults who think that I'm just the bad kid. So what we're doing sometimes when we show that we are the one adult who's willing to catch those kids doing the good thing is we are giving them a safe place to land, reaffirming that there are adults out there who want the best for them and who believe in them. And it's playing the long game. And sometimes with kids, we have to be willing to play the long game and build them up long term because those are the things that are going to change their lives long term. The other thing that we talk about when we talk about redirection is we talk about prompting them. So sometimes you've got a kid who is in a group setting and who is used to being the kid who doesn't catch on as fast as everybody else. They're used to being the kid that nobody looks up to. They're used to being the kid that nobody wants to be like. And maybe that thing where they want that praise from their adults or that admiration from their peers is the thing that they want the most. And maybe they're willing to cut up and act silly in order to get it, right? But we want them to get that feeling that they're looking for by being the awesomest. So we're going to do something called prompting. So in the classroom, what that looks like is we've got, 10 kids on the mat, and we've got that one kid who's used to getting his attention from cutting up, but he's having maybe a moment that he's being his best. And so we're going to say, okay, guys, I want to see who can kick stronger than this kid. Who can kick stronger than Joe? Who can kick faster than Joe? Who can be the one that answers up the first or the loudest? Oh my gosh, I've never seen a kick that fast. Can you guys keep up with that? I don't know if you can. If those things sound familiar, it's because those are strategies that we use at Sidekicks all the time. We want to build those kids up. And what happens when all of a sudden that kid is getting the attention and admiration from the people around him is that they stand a little bit taller and they think a little bit better of themselves because they think, oh my gosh, I must be actually good at this. Otherwise he wouldn't have everyone else trying to beat me. And then all of a sudden they become the thing that we've told them they are, which is the magic that we possess as the adults in kids' lives. Is ultimately, these kids are going to become the thing that we tell them that they are, and that's what redirection really, really is. It's giving them the thing that they want and turning it into the thing that we want and helping them be the very best version of themselves that they can be. In a homework scenario, my same son that I talked about earlier, we ran into some difficulty with a project that he did not want to do for school. He had to make a little booklet of facts about something. I don't remember what it was. If it was westward expansion, it was some kind of social studies project. And he didn't want to do it. So I said, okay, buddy, let's sit here and do it together. And let's find a way that's going to make that enjoyable for you. And the thing that he didn't want to do was be very factual and very boring. It's very boring. And I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give the teacher exactly what she wants. We're going to give her her facts. We're going to do it in alphabetical order. We're going to do one fact for every letter of the alphabet, just like she wants. And then once we've done that, we're also going to have some fun while we do it. So he invented this character that he called Cowboy Joe. And on every page, we gave the teacher the exact dull and boring facts that he was dreading so much. And we illustrated it exactly the way that he was supposed to illustrate it. And then he would find a way to stick a teeny tiny little Cowboy Joe version of himself doing something silly inserted into the printed picture. And Cowboy Joe got rocketed to the moon, and Cowboy Joe got kicked by a cow, and Cowboy Joe did all kinds of silly things inside of the work that was expected of him. And that's really what redirection is. It's okay. My kid really wanted to express his imagination and have fun, but his teacher needed him to accomplish these facts for history. So we found a way to take the two things and turn them into one direction. Redirection is so much more than just yelling at a kid to stay on task. It's figuring out what it is that kid is really looking for to fill the bucket inside of them and helping them fill that bucket in a way that's going to make them productive and successful. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for spending some time with us here at Sidekicks, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week. Bye, everybody.